Are freaking awesome. Fully detailed, amazing figures. Now, if you look real close, they're different, but they look similar. So then you have to look up like what's what. So this guy was using a lot of this blue stuff, which it doesn't hurt anything. It comes right away. It doesn't make anything sticky. It just really helps hold things in place without the idea of like glue, etc., etc. What I don't like about it is that bright blue color kind of sticks out like a sore thumb. But like, see, he's got it everywhere, so you kind of gotta go through. And this was all on these, so that the horns, now I don't know, without looking at a picture. That's why. So, and then these are for the helmet. And it was funny, I actually had a gentleman comes in pretty regularly. We were just talking toys or whatever, and I've been working on Mythic Legions for quite a bit now. And he goes, you know, I love those figures, and I hate all their names. And I was like, what do you mean? It's like, just out of curiosity, picks up one. What's his name? Reads the tag. I can't even pronounce the name. It's not even a different way of saying Daniel. You know what I mean? Like, it's like ZRABBBBBRQZ Dragon. And but for me, since I'm not like a completist in this line, like I just got the figures I like. I really didn't give a shit what their names were, what their backstories were. I didn't need to know. I just used them for what they look like. But so that's what he said. He says that was always my deterrent, was the idea that like you can't read their names. And then as we're putting these together, there isn't a lot of information on what 100% what he came with. You can read whatever you want, but you don't know what shade the little things are for the back. You don't know what their sword might have had a color on it. So we're going back and we're watching a ton of different YouTube reviews and things like that. You should hear those guys saying their names. You could watch the review on this figure, and all 5 reviews are a different name, how they pronounce it. So that I really understood where the guy was coming from, but I was like, well, I still like the way they look. I lens everything. And I know for a fact this is the additional set you can put on. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so he's the half giant, blah blah blah. The Noble Birched. Okay, so prime example. That's not the right color cloth underneath. That's brown. So you zoom in. That's all correct, except for this gray loincloth. Doesn't make sense. So then what I usually like to do is now I'll lens this guy, and you just gotta see if you can find him. Now there's like nothing under him. Brown. Okay, one second. I have the one girl that works for us. Her and her husband actually collect this line, so that's been very helpful. But we've both priced and identified, and then like I'll be working on one of her figures, it's wrong. She'll work on one of mine, it's wrong, and it's just the matching of the accessories. Like I know it sounds crazy, but it's like with He-Man, right? The original He-Man, there's only one He-Man sword that went with He-Man, And then this guy's staff is for whiplash. And then that guy's mace is for Spikor. It didn't change. Now, what if every He-Man figure had the exact same sword in 75 different colors? Just like G.I. Joe, matching some of the guns. That has been brutal. So what we're going to do, like in tonight's live, I will show the figure. I will show every weapon. And to the best of my abilities, hey, this weapon has a gold band, this sword has this. So that way when they get it and they say, oh, that's wrong. We went over it all. There's no other way. Half giant. Now, I know I'm going to get for saying this, but I think it's pretty crazy that you have to pay $40 and you don't even get a box around the item. This is how they come. I put them in the bag and topper. Okay, so for example, see, I was really wondering if this cloth went to this, and it doesn't. So okay, now that doesn't mean nothing, because there's so many customizers. Ready? So most likely, this is what I'll do. See, his boots are different than his. So these are definitely two different builds, but this is 100%. See what he did? So he bought this set and added it to this figure. So now it's our job to find out what actually came on this half giant. So, for example, I believe I have him in package. And again, this is just luck, because we have these items in the store. Like here we are where I'm at, what, probably 15 minutes? I don't even know the figure's name yet. So, when I work on stuff like this, I really try not to have a lot of my staff do it, because I'll be 2 hours in on a couple figures and that now they have no value. Okay, there it is. So now I know for a fact that the gray is the newest one. So then the other half giant would have been an earlier run. Alright, so I can tell he's got some goodies in there. But we're on to something. Here's those. Okay, so that's the entire half giant set. That's easy, that's done. Alright, so then we need to find his chest accessory. Bingo! Alright, so there's that. And then what I'll do now is I'll put in Mythic Legions, half giant Legion builder. Why not just call him Earl? You know? Okay, so I gotta find. So he comes with those cuffs and serrated cuffs, like cuffs that have like kind of like a shredder. That's all my helmets. The benefits of being in order. Now it makes sense why I separate everything. Alright, so there's his cuffs. We're getting Euro. Now I need to really look, see. So for in the baggie, it's very difficult to see his weapon because the guy didn't lay it out. So if I can't find a listing of it laid out to tell, then what we'll have to do. Okay, now you got to go back to something else.
Doesn't have one.
Mythic Legions, half giant Legion builder. That's a tongue twister.
Earl would be a lot simpler.
See? Come on, Earl. Alright, so Gotta find who does a good unboxing that I don't mind. The one guy, man, maybe you're watching, you're a weirdo. It's like doing an unboxing on the one girl, and he's like, "Oh man, they did such a good job on her breasts and just the way that she." I'm like, get a girlfriend. It was weird. It was super weird. I was just like, just not something you'd want to watch.
Opening
like,
up Pokemon vintage packs. Better yet, opening up.
It was so bizarre. But we live in a world where a bunch of adult men collect toys, so we're gonna get some weird ones. Alright, so then what I do is I would fast forward because they're gonna talk and explain everything, which is really nice. But hey, man, shout out! His videos are usually always pretty awesome.
Who's that?
This is Greg Cook.
Shout out, Greg.
Just getting frustrated. I opened up a brand new one because when you're doing a video on YouTube, guys, and you're doing an unboxing, for the life of God, let me teach you something. You popped the tape, you read it, you talked about it. When you pull it out, don't put it on the table and keep videoing me. Hold it up. This is what we're getting ready to show, guys. That's what the packaging looks like. That's what the cuffs are for. And then these are the weapons that are behind, you know. Is that hard? Instead, it's like, oh yeah, it came with 2 maces. Just bad. Like, see? So you have your female in, your male in, and then your male, 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 male. That's what he comes with.
And then the axe hit it in that multiple thing, right?
Yep. So, alright. Alright, that part's done. We put him back in, and now I have to mark this down. I'll mark it as display, even though it's never been out. That's super frustrating. But that's what I was trying to explain to you, like how difficult. I mean, it was starting to become. In this, 90% of the figures were way before I ever had Mythics in my store, so I don't have enough to go back and check. So I'm averaging probably about 30 minutes per figure. And I know someone out there is going to be like, look, I can run through every Masters Universe figure in the world in 5 seconds flat. But when you're uneducated, like for example, I'm ignorant to this line. I don't know enough about some of the facts and things. But as a toy store, we do requests. Hey man, we want to do Mythics. I carry Mythics. I'm a retailer for Mythics. So it's important for us to get some of the older stuff, get some of the newer stuff, and learn as much as possible about it. But it's still, you have to factor in that manpower and that man time to do it. And then guess what? Is it profitable? Is it profitable to have an employee to do this, or do I just do it where I don't have to eat the cost? So, alright, we got the 3 ends. I got that. So then on the next one, the only thing I'm going to be missing is going to be, I'm missing one of the male female end, because I do have another one here, but that was one of the male and it's broken. So I'll just write that down that for like when I price out the other one, it'll be missing that, but who's to say that one comes with that? So this is just prep for the live sale. I'm trying to get as many of the big giants and trolls available as possible, because I'm getting ready to go on a cruise for a week. So people have been waiting on this, and I keep giving them an excuse why it's not ready. So I've just been putting in that time now. So I know for example, that's the entire set loose. We just did that one. So now we'll go back. Maybe that might be his. I'm not on that one yet. Alright, so now this guy is 100% complete. I think it does look better in the box when you put his cool armor back on. But yeah, it was just like I got a guy that comes up and helps me look at G.I. Joes, and it's funny because I collect G.I. Joes. I still don't know everything, man. I've used Henry, I've used Chris Welker, I've used Alex Marks. They're all like really good Joe dudes. Henry's amazing, he knows everything. He knows it all. Alright. So there is your half giant, 100% complete. 30 minutes later. Let's just say, okay, this took me 30 minutes between cleaning it, getting it right, separating the parts for it, done, right? In box, it's 50. So okay, so he's 40. All right. Minimum wage in the state that I'm in is 15. So we're half an hour at $7.50. So you take $7.50 off the 40. Then let's just say I paid 50% of retail. So I'm at 20. So I'm gonna profit $13. That's it. Alright, everyone. So, alright, so pretty much in this magic little place is where we do a lot of the packing and shipping. And a lot of people, again, if you don't follow our page, you wouldn't know. Do you ship? Do you ship? Do you ship international? How much does it cost to ship here? It's a process. So we go through virtual live sales, virtual tours, online claims, in store, and then a lot of people are traveling, right? So you're on vacation. You bought 50 different items. You don't want to have to lug all that back home. I'll gladly pack it up and ship it home for you. You just have to pay the shipping. So we would come back into the shipping station, for example. I'm using this big guy as an example just because it's a bigger piece. Now, I can definitely not compete with Amazon free shipping, and I can't compete with Big Bad Toy Store $4 flat rate shipping. But this is where I can tell you the difference between us and them. Let me grab a box. And I don't know about you guys, but I buy a lot on Amazon. How many people... That's Amazon. Alright? Then, at Big Bad Toy Store, you gotta pay more money for it to be packed right. That'll never happen here. Ever, ever, ever. I will show you the proper way to pack an item. Now, I do like to take things off that I think might poke through or get damaged or break off, so you want the figure as flat as possible. And it doesn't matter if it's a vintage He-Man figure or what. I got my roll. Little cheater trick. Glass is perfect because it cuts really easy. So take him over. Now, different ways of doing certain figures, man. So like Mochi Classics and stuff, you really just want as much padded protection. So like in between the arms you're trying to go. Give them a couple rolls, man. Alright. Cut. It's sad that we have to show this because everybody has went through the horror story of like getting a bubble mailer figure. And then you just, again, you're wrapping it around the joints to protect it. I don't care if it's a $1 toy or a $500 toy. We put the same amount of effort into everything, and that's why we have such a good rating on packing and shipping. If something breaks, it's because the box got smashed or something of that nature. So there's your figure. Then you go into the accessories, you got like a little axe. Now in this case you can definitely do different ways. And you just roll them on up. Cut them off. Tape. And what I do is I'll tape it this way. Roll. Yeah, you can roll it. See, because I'm making sure I didn't bend the staff. But the idea is to pack it safe, but also don't go too crazy where it'll affect maybe the shipping rate because you have to go bigger box. Nice little 11 by 7.5, 5.5. It's a box I use quite often. And we try to, man, all the supplies. We don't charge for supplies. We don't charge for packing peanuts or any of that stuff. So we try to save as many boxes as we can. But I mean, that's why. That's all packing peanuts and bubble wrap. 25 feet in the air. And then of course, when you're bigger items like a Castle Grayskull or like a big boxed item, you go to the wide bubble wrap. Another thing that drives me, I don't know, but I just ordered it's a cooler to go in the back of my side-by-side from Polaris. And it's not toy related, but it's a big toy. And I get this $365 cooler delivered in a box. I kid you not. This is how much tape was on the top. Same thing on the bottom. So when I got it, this whole tape had opened, and you could see where someone else added tape to just so it can make it to its destination. I personally like to do 3, and I overlap that first one every time. It's perfect. Now you could do a little splash of the peanuts. Figure, accessory. That is how you properly pack a toy. And then if it was heavier, because this isn't too bad, if it was heavier, a lot of times we'll cover seams just to keep it together. And then what we would do is we'd check our page. Usually we have all the information on it. It'll have where it's going, so I need the full address. We weigh everything, and then it's based on dimension, weight, and size, and where it's going. And that comes up too. Well, why is the shipping so much? Well, even though the item only costs you maybe $5, if it's 20 pounds and it's got to go to Australia, it's going to be way more than what the item costs. But that is how Eternia Dreams will pack every toy in every sale. So I'm excited for this live band because I've been using one of these since I started. It's the perfect toy phone holder. It's, you know. Typically, guys, stores are closed, and we do the lives. That way we can talk, joke, curse, things like that. So everything in this atmosphere, because I'm still open for an hour, my language and everything changes just to be part of it. But pretty much it's always going to be on the Eternia Dreams group page. So almost 14,000 members. Click there. Now what's really nice about this, and a lot of guys don't understand, when are the lives? If you just go over to events, this has every live sale and every show I'm ever going to go to. You can click on it. Now for me, since I'm the one hosting it, I won't have the button, but you would click going. You'll get a notification. You don't have to have someone tag you. You don't have to do all that. And it'll tell you. So for example, I'm going to go in here, start live video. And then anyone that clicked going or instant, it gave you an idea that, hey, we're about to go. Let me grab my other phone. And this allows me to just read comments a little bit easier, tag people if I need to without disrupting the video itself. What's up, guys? Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're here live from Eternia Dreams, located in Westminster, Maryland. So I know we're going to end up getting some guys and friends from all the different pages, because this is the first time in a long time we've had some retired and some, I say retired, but it's the older Mythic Legions and things like that. It's weird, right? I'm drinking a brewski. Oh. What we got going on today, guys, is all the Mythic Legions we've been working on. I know we've been getting a ton of questions. Do you have this figure? Do you have that figure? I'll be the first one to admit, I don't know all their names. I don't have that much information, like backstories and things. But as I've read things and looked things up, I'll share all that information with you on everything we do. We are going to be starting with Tote 1 and then moving on to the Giants and all those things, and we'll be rocking and rolling. How you doing, guys? So it's super, super easy, guys. For example, this is an example piece. This, I'll do it easier. Got a figure. All right. I'll show you the figure. I'll go over anything that I see wrong and everything that I think is awesome. I will point him out. I will tell you, missing one alternate staff piece. He is $40, and his name is Decebus. Decebus from the Mythic Legions. And then I would say first up, so he's $40. And then, for example, say you did want him. I know for a fact a lot of the spelling is going to be butchered on a lot of these figures because it's so tough. If I can make out kind of what you're thinking, or if you're like big white vampire guy for $40, you have to do name and price on every item. This is going to happen, and I know it's going to happen. So say you put $40 Decebus. And then on your phone, you see your first. But on my phone, maybe Jim, maybe Larry, maybe Joe, maybe they were first. So I'll always read it as it pops up. Now, if anybody wants to do a lag test, I would highly recommend doing that. That lets you know from the second you enter a comment how many seconds it takes for me to read it. That's how long your lag time is. So you just type the word test, press enter, and count 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi. When I see the word test pop up, I'll say Donald test. That lets you know, okay, I got like a 30-second lag on any of the items that are coming up. Test. Henrik Hoffman test. And that really gives you a strong idea on, crap, man, I'm like a minute behind.
Story of my life.
Going once to Mrs. Amber. Going twice to Miss Amber. Sold to Amber.
Oh.
And then I've got the other shoulder pad inside. They just pop on, but look at the detail in them. Even just the shoulder pads are incredible. And then you've got his 2 shields, his 2 swords, his really big sword, and really cool feature that the flame attaches on the sword to look like a flaming sword. And then, of course, he does still sit on his steed. So 255, and that thing is gorgeous. That is every figure we've got. Now, I won't have time tonight to show you every figure we've got, but I will show you the Mythic Legions aisle real quick. We've got a bunch of the different hand sets, the weapon sets, the wing sets, the gun sets, the Stratos tribute figure, a bunch of the skeleton guys, another Minotaur. There's the guy you just got, bud. Have a great night, and as always, peace! So then what I'll do is I'll come in tomorrow morning first thing. We have banker boxes when we put everyone's order on it. It'll be in the front order, and then we separate all the stuff that sold, all the stuff that didn't sell. We split up between what's going to go to Gettysburg, what's going to go here, and then rock and roll.